A narrative TV show is nothing without a good script.
Don't ever tell me what I can't do, ever!
While scripts for television have some overlap with feature screenplays, there are many crucial differences. So, what goes into a TV script and how is it formatted? This is Anatomy of a Screenplay, Part 3. Before we start surfing channels, remember to subscribe to StudioBinder and click the bell to stay updated on all our videos.
What is all this?
Now, let's turn our attention to the small screen. For most of the 20th century, there were self-evident differences between television and film. With the rise of prestige TV, however, the two mediums have begun to look much more similar. But the differences between TV and film scripts still largely exist to this day. Of course, there are exceptions to many of the television writing rules we'll outline. But in this video, we will cover the best practices that most professional TV writers adhere to. It is important for any writer to understand these rules. First, they allow a writer to better understand the pacing of different television genres. Second, TV writers are often considered for jobs by writing a spec episode of a series. And they need to have the correct style and format to showcase they understand the show and its conventions. There are two different production approaches in television. Single camera, which more closely resembles film by shooting with one camera, and multi-camera, which shoots with several cameras in front of a live audience.
Oh my God!
What?
Let's begin with single camera formatting. By and large, most television scripts for single camera shows have similar layouts to features. Both film and TV, for example, follow an act structure. But in television scripts, this act structure is typically delineated more overtly with act breaks. This is because act breaks in television also operate as commercial breaks. In the script, a writer will note when an act begins and ends. The formatting varies. But usually these breaks are in all caps, bolded and underlined, sometimes centered on the page.
No. Look, we're trying to decontaminate.
To mark the end of an act, the writer will write "End of Act," followed by the act number. There are exceptions to the act rule. Many shows today will not have to be broken up for commercials, and this has resulted in many TV writers abandoning the clear delineation of acts. This can be seen in the Duffer Brothers script for the Stranger Things pilot, which, even though it contains the act beats, reads more like a feature than an episode of television. A TV script may include shorter sequences at the beginning or end of an episode. A short sequence at the opening of an episode is called a teaser or cold open. Usually, a teaser is for dramas, and a cold open is for comedies. But both serve to pique an audience's interest.
Pick up.
They are marked just like an act in the script, centered, bolded, and underlined, with teaser or cold open in the beginning, and end of cold open or teaser at the end.
The IT tech guy and me did not get off to a great start.
A short isolated sequence at the very end of an episode is called a tag, which is marked in the same way, though it usually ends with end of show. In a comedy, a tag serves to get in one last joke.
On the next Arrested Development, George Michael gets a new roommate.
In a drama, it may be a cliffhanger.
Let's go to work.
Scripts for half-hour episodes should generally be around 25 to 35 pages. This rule can be bent both ways. For example, the pilot for The Last Man on Earth is only 21 pages. while the pilot for Veep is 45. As these examples illustrate, series written for services with commercials will typically be on the shorter side. Hour-long episodes, of course, are longer, usually landing between 45 to 65 pages. Again, this length is affected by whether or not the episode will break for commercials.
Tell me, kid. Am I lying?
I gotta go.
There is one form of television that takes a very different approach to page length and layout. Let's look at multi-camera formatting. Multicam series are shot very differently from their single-camera counterparts.
Fine by me!
These shows are shot in front of a live audience and utilize multiple cameras to capture scenes in their totality. As a result, the format for multicam series has much more in common with theatre. Acts are presented in uppercase and underlined, centered on the page. The scene is then usually demarcated with a letter, also underlined. The scene heading looks similar to single-camera scripts, except they include the story day number in parentheses. A story day refers to what day it is within the narrative of the show. Marking it allows the crew to more easily maintain continuity from scene to scene. If it's a different day, characters will wear different clothes.
I've rarely seen these students so engaged. There again, I've rarely seen these students. I really should pop into class more often.
The scene or act numbers are also often marked under the page number in the top right corner. Often, at the beginning of each scene, the characters included are listed in parentheses. Any action is then written in all caps. Sound effects within the action are underlined, and so are characters. Dialogue, meanwhile, is double-spaced. This unique formatting makes multicam scripts much longer. A half-hour comedy will run around 50 to 60 pages. With formatting out of the way, let's look at how different types of television are structured.
We have to go back!
As is evident in its formatting, television often has a more rigid structure than film. But this structure differs depending on the style of TV you are writing. Narrative TV can be broken up into 4 types: serialized drama, episodic drama, multicam sitcom, and single-cam sitcom. Serialized dramas use each episode to tell a larger, overarching story. Examples include Mad Men, Pose, The Wire, and Game of Thrones. This form of TV typically breaks the script into 4 acts. In Act 1, we are introduced to the normal world and its characters, which is shaken up at the end of the act. In Act 2, the protagonist gets acquainted with their new normal.
You understood what I've just said to you.
Yes. Lung cancer. Inoperable.
In Act 3, the protagonist makes a crucial decision to get them through this new normal.
I'm thinking maybe you and I could partner up.
You want to cook crystal meth?
Act 4 finds resolution, but also typically acts as a cliffhanger. Pressing problems may have been resolved, but there are other larger obstacles on the horizon. Episodic dramas have a 5-act structure along with a teaser.
I bet you've never even drawn your weapon. Yeah, I hope I never have to. Nick, walk this guy out the door. Now, let's go.
These hour-long shows have self-contained storylines from episode to episode.
We call it speed dating. Owner says our victim had 15 dates.
Well, you know what they say, Frank. Speed kills.
Like Law and Order, House, or NCIS.
I'm not afraid to die. I will slit her throat.
In the teaser, the audience is presented with the problem that has to be solved by the end of the episode. In a crime show, this is the crime. In medical dramas, this is the patient. In Act 1, the primary characters learn about the problem, often seeing it may not be as simple as they thought.
Death row guy. I want the case.
Act 2 is typically where a problem becomes personal for a character.
Exactly. I'm black. I sympathize with guys who grew up in the inner city kept down by the man.
Makes sense to me.
In Act 3, the stakes are raised, forcing the protagonists to make difficult decisions. Act 4 is where the characters sustain major setbacks.
When a good person dies, there should be an impact on the world. Somebody should notice. Somebody should be upset.
And Act 5 is where a solution is found.
That tumor caused random shots of adrenaline, which obviously led to the rage attacks that made him become a murderer in the first place.
My God, you're right.
Though they look different, multicam and single-cam sitcoms can have similar structures.
This is the magic trick, huh?
Illusion, Michael.
Trick is something a does for money. Or can be.
Depending on the number of commercial breaks they need, sitcoms can have between 2 to 4 acts.
Surprise!
Parks and Recreation uses 3 acts. The first act introduces us to the world
Well, I've worked at the Parks Department for 6 years, and I've handled a lot of things that I'm proud of.
and ends with a problem.
This pit, the chance to build a whole new park from scratch. This could be my Hoover Dam.
In the second act, the characters try to solve the problem.
And the entire government of Pawnee would like to let you know that we will do everything we can to help you.
And in the third act, they find resolution.
I am gonna make a vow now that I will do whatever it takes to get this pit filled in.
No matter the structure, acts all typically end on a note that makes you want to keep watching. And an episode ends on a note that makes you want to start the next one.
Hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
Take the Emily.
Take thee, Rachel. Emily. Emily.
Television is evolving rapidly, and the formatting and structure norms in place are constantly adapting. In the end, like with any kind of screenplay, clarity is king. Start writing your TV script with StudioBinder screenwriting software. Goodbye for now. And this is the end of our tag.
Is that enough of a reference for you?
And Michael finds it difficult to get his father out of jail.
You love it here?
I'm having the time of my life.
Hey, T-Bone.